Today I'm installing the Boost Auto 2019 and up wireless phone charger. Once I'm done with the install, I'll just be able to put my cell phone on the console like this and it'll charge with no cables needed. But there's a twist, and that's probably why you're watching this video. Boost Auto technically doesn't support this particular truck. Let me show you why. In order to do the install, you have to power the device. To power the device, you have to use the cigarette lighter that should be right here, or the USBs that should be right here. But this truck doesn't have that option. And Boost Auto doesn't have any way around that, so therefore it doesn't fit my truck. So I'm going to show you a relatively easy way to get some power back here where we need it so we can power this device. Now, I got to throw this disclaimer in here. Boost Auto definitely does not approve this method. They might in the future, but they don't list this truck as an option. They tell you not to buy it if your truck doesn't have power there. There's your disclaimer. Please don't complain to them if you have issues. This is what we'll be using today. Of course, here's our kit from Boost Auto. We've got this bag here and this bag over here that has the wiring harness in it. Now I'm going to show you how to run the power first, so you don't have to open this bag yet, just in case you want to return it after you see how this is done. We're also going to need some wire. I've got just a red and black. You can use any colors you want. Some connectors. You need one of these. 4 of these will probably work. This is the key to this, and there's a link to the description in this. This is what's called add a circuit, and we are definitely going to need this. And stripping tools and a crimping tool. You don't necessarily need a multimeter. I'll show you how I'm going to use that just to test. These connectors aren't 100% necessary, but I'll explain later. What we're going to do is we are going to tap some power from this fuse panel here. We're going to run our wires right along here and then under the seat and over to where we need power for the console. First thing we want to do is go ahead and get our fuse panel cover off. You're just going to reach under, basically pull out. Next we're going to take this cover off on the side of the seat and you just pull up. Two clips, pull straight up. And then this one, it's right off like this. And out she comes. Again, you pull straight up and then straight back. Now that we have all of this removed, let me show you a couple things. There is a ground lug right here. We're going to be using this, so you will need a 10mm socket to get this nut off. And then I'll be using this empty fuse holder right here. On my truck, this is not used, and it's probably not used on yours either. But you can check, and what you want to do is just look for one that's not in use. In my case, F5. Look here, that's F5. F5 is a 20 amp that is not used. So what makes this a relatively easy to do task is this add a circuit. We don't need to do anything crazy with the fuse box. All we have to do is take this guy right here. You can see it's got 2 fuses installed. We're just going to install you right like that. That's what you need the multimeter for, is to test this. And you don't have to test it. You can take my word for it. But if you have issues, you're going to need the multimeter to test it. See if you can figure out why it's not working. With our positive probe plugged in, we can put the ground over here on the ground that we're going to be using. And if you look, we do have 12 volts. So this does mean your console charger will be powered at all times. Now, it's not going to draw a lot of amps, and according to the documentation, it only charges if there's something sitting on it. And it does have an on-off button, so you can turn it on and off. With our power concerns out of the way, let's make this harness. Now we're going to run our wire from the back to the front. So let's get this seat moved all the way forward. You get this side cover off here. And that's just with this off like this, we're going to go on the inside here, down here, and under the carpet right here. Now my carpet has a flap that's been cut in it. This appears to be factory. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that back So now I can see under here a little bit better. I take my electrical wire and just tape it to this piece of baling wire. It's a little bit stiffer, should be a little bit easier to feed the wire that way. So I'm going to take this piece right, feeding it right through here. Now here it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it under the carpet. And push it all the way through to here. All right. And here it is now coming out here. Now next what I'm going to do, because I'm using a long piece of wire, I'm going to feed it the rest of the way under this carpet. We're just going to come all the way, we're going to come all the way under this carpet right here and come out over here. And then we'll go through here and all the way up our channel to our fuse box. All in one nice neat run, right? We'll see. All right. All right, that should be over there. Here's our piece of wire. We're just gonna pull through. And I'm just gonna slip that down there. Now we're in that channel. We'll make this easy on ourselves as well. We'll just push our wire through. With our wire pushed through, we can just pull that out. There. Now we've got plenty of wire running the whole distance, not really being visible. You can go ahead and close that back up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take our wire off of here. Strip some insulation off of these. We're going to unplug our ATA circuit. And then crimp our red wire to the ATA circuit. Now don't plug this back in yet. You're going to want to leave this unplugged until we're completely done. Take this connector, put it on your black wire. There's going to be tons of links in the description, so if you don't have any of these, there'll be a link to them. Alright. Alright, we're just going to use our 10 to take this nut off. Hopefully you've got your key off. We're just going to put our ground wire on there. And put this nut right back on. We're just going to tuck this ground wire in here. Everything else. With our ground wire attached, we're actually ready to put this piece back on. What you're going to want to do is slip this in like this and pull up your red wire, because it's going to be going into here. And just like that. That piece is back on. And this is going to end up just plugging in here like this. Don't plug it in yet. This can go back on as well. Remember, it just right down. All right, moving to the back. Okay, we're not going to need a whole lot of wire here, but I just cut this. Strip some wire back. This is optional. You could wire this directly to the Boost Auto wiring harness, Or you could do what I'm going to do. I'm putting a connector in place, and then I'm going to put a connector on the Boost Auto wiring harness as well, so that I could disconnect it if I wanted to. It doesn't really matter. You could just wire it directly. Again, red to red, black to black. Now we're basically to the part where we just follow the Boost Auto install. Okay, we need to take all of these Torx screws out. Yeah, this just pops out. Not easily though. All the others were 15s, these are 20s. And our cover comes off. Switch back to our T15. We've got here and 2 more down here. Now we've got this piece, which is what we were trying to get to. Okay, we're going to pop this out of here, like so. Clean this while we're at it. I'm going to take the Boost Auto charger out of the bag. I now officially can't return this. Okay, if you watched the Boost Auto install video, you know that what comes next is drilling a 3/8 hole right here. With that done, we can feed our wire through that hole. Well, their install video said use a 3/8 drill bit, and that's what I used, but it does not seem to be big enough. Alright, we'll try a 1/2 drill bit. That works much better. Okay, we're going to pull this off of here. They have some self-tapping Phillips screws we're going to use. If you're using a drill gun like I am, be careful. Don't go very fast. Alright. This is all set. Next up, we need to drill a hole right about here. You can kind of line it up with this. Figure out where it needs to be. Yeah, looks like right about there. Feed our wire through. Let's put our 4 T15s back in. Okay, with this installed, we need to drill another hole. We're going to drill it right underneath this mounting tab right here. Right there. Don't drill through your fingers. Now we're going to take our Boost Auto wiring harness. Take the little end here. Run it through our hole, and just set this off to the side. We're going to plug it in, only fits one way, and then we're just going to kind of push this into this little cubby right here so that we can install our plate. Now this is going to go basically like this. Now we're going to screw it back into place. And forget the long screws at the bottom are T20s. Back to the bottom here. Now this wire is going to route over the side and get tucked back here. You can now close the lid. So we got a lot of wiring harness here, but unfortunately, we need to keep a bunch of it because there's a fuse on here, but we don't need to keep all of it. So we're going to cut you right there. Now this is if you have a factory harness and you have a cigarette lighter and all that good stuff down there, which we don't have, so we don't need any of this for anything. We're going to put our own connector on here. Now you could just wire this stuff directly together and call it a day. But I wanted to put a connector on here just in case I needed to take this seat out for some reason. I could just disconnect it instead of having to rewire everything. But really, I don't think it matters much. Red to red. Now these are shrink tube butt connectors. And I will go back later and shrink them. But my heat gun is not operational at the moment. All right. Now we're just going to plug you in. And then tuck all this wire into here. Okay, that's connected. We're just going to kind of tuck that in there so it's not really visible. All right, looks good. Finally, we're going to plug our ATA circuit in. And we now have a working charger. Okay, now that wasn't too hard, was it? We took a product they said wasn't for this truck, put it in this truck, made it work. Obviously, Boost Auto doesn't support this method. Don't call them for help. But who knows? Maybe one day they'll make their own wiring harness, and then you don't have to make your own, and you can just buy one from them. Until then, though, feel free to do what I did. You probably want to see this working, huh? There are two little lights right here, and a little button right in the center. Hold this down for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and it'll turn on. We've got a red light now, and this red light means nothing's going on. We take this Android phone, put it right there. Now we've got a blue light. And you heard my phone, it's now charging. What about iPhones, you say? I happen to have an iPhone too. Put that right there. We go from red to blue. Now this one's already 100% charged, but you saw it tried to charge. And then if you want to turn it off, just hold that button down for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Red light flashes, goes out. It's off. I got a bunch of videos about this truck on my channel, so like, subscribe, comment. See y'all down the road.